because I think that's where you can lose sight. I've done it before where I qualified for the US Open at Marion in 13. And I was obviously like young, fresh out of college, and I was more worried about what the guy on the Konica Biz Hub Minolta was going to say about my swing. And I'm trying to work on like aesthetics of my swing before the tournament, which was just so ridiculous because I'd obviously had something going working for me to just qualify. And then when I got out there in that arena, I wasn't comfortable because I had never played, in that type of environment. And I'm also trying to work on swing changes that, it just couldn't have been a worse decision for me, but it's a learning curve too. So, you know,
I'd like to sit on that for a minute because I have definitely experienced that. What was kind of the light bulb moment for you that it's like, dude, like I'm good enough. I've been like clearly I'm good enough to be here. Like let's stop messing around with aesthetics. Like let's do what got me here. Was it just immediately after that tournament, or did it take you a little while to be like, dude, you're just being dumb?
still took me a while. Like it was during COVID 2020. I was living Jacksonville and I would play out at Stadium Course a lot. And Fred Funk had these like COVID games where if you had status, you could play. It was like a 2-day tournament. Everybody puts like 400 in the pot. And if you had a card, right, like Champions, PGA, Web, you could play. And it was amazing, right? Because it was like playing in like a top 10 course in the country with no one else there except for other tour players in the middle of a apocalypse. And, I had gotten to know Fred really well, and he was telling me that he had never had a lesson, which is wild. And I'm like, I've like, it's difficult because you want to like be proactive and always strive to improve. And, not saying I'm anti working with somebody, but a lot of times it's difficult. And in fairness to these big time instructors, it's not really fair to just show up. They've never seen you before. They've got packed schedules and they're going to look at you for an hour, right? And you're expecting them to tell you some secret sauce, and maybe they give you a good direction to go towards, but it's hard to get back in with them, so you feel like you don't get value from it, right? And I think for me, I found that this guy right here, myself, knows my swing the best, and I just kind of have to police it. Now sometimes it's good to ask your contemporaries where your ball position is, or do some video down the line face on and see where you're at, but for the most part I've really kind of come into my own the last year and a half with like getting my ball striking back from like just trusting my feels and doing, what works for me. And, I'm always like making small tweaks, but I think that I'm past the point of like thinking I need to like make my swing look a certain way, or, get my club in a certain position. It's just when you get under the gun, man, like you're just gonna revert back to like where it is, and it's
Yeah.
really difficult to swing like Adam Scott and make it repeat like that.